Have you ever thought to yourself, what was Sia thinking when she pitched the music movie? Hello Sia, what can I do for you on this fine day? Can I pitch a movie? I want to make a movie about how autistic people should be treated like a burden to society. What? I want to make it into a musical now. Okay, let me get me straight. You want to make a movie mocking autism and make it into a musical? Don't you see people are going to get offended by this? Like, we don't want to offend campaigners and all that. We don't want to offend activists and protesters because that pitch is kind of a last straw before people are going to bark at us. Why can't I? Because I'm popular, right? Because my album's selling well, my music's doing well, so what could go wrong? Okay, I think I know a way you can at least remedy the situation, like, I don't know, rewrite the movie that doesn't depict autism in a murky light, and even better, you can cast an autistic person. Like, there's a lot of new talent around in Hollywood, apparently. Like, there could be even a brand new wave of these brilliantly special-minded performers. Nah, I'll cast that girl from all my music videos, Maggie Ziegler. She's a chameleon that she can perform any character. She does a wide range of characters. Like, yeah, she only appears in my music videos. Okay, I don't think Maggie Ziegler and your album sales are going to at least merely remedy the situation you're just going to create in your hands. Seriously. You don't want to know how much that pitch is going to cause a lot of offense, not just to that community, but people with brain cells. I just want to be hip with the kids for a moment, and I want to explore what this cancel culture is. Apparently it's recommended by Jeffree Star and John Dawson. Okay, 1, you pronounced both their names wrong, and 2, cancel culture is not a laughing matter. People can lose their jobs over it. And also, J.K. Rowling made transphobic remarks. Guess what? She's cancelled. What about Sam Pepper? Made a mock execution. Cancelled. Or, like I said, Shane Dawson and whoever that lady is, cancelled because, you know what? And also, name everyone that were cancelled. They were cancelled for a reason. You're making this pitch is your own reason why. You're making a movie that mocks autism. Like, do you want to be proud of it? And being a victim of cancel culture, that's not something you want to be proud of at all. Don't believe me? Just watch. Trust me, this movie is going to be the greatest and most vibrant movie of all time. Oh my word. How am I'm supposed to negotiate with you now? Knowing you're making a light out of anything that comes your way and make it into a parody. Like, I'm a little bit wound up by you. Very wound up about you. Who again? Who? Who what? Who what? Now, who you bringing up? Who? Okay, kind of like the movie War Games. The only way to play that game is not play that game at all. And I've played your game. Okay, knowing I am in this hornet nest that is considered your career at the moment, I will reluctantly fund your movie, your vanity project, your movie that likes to treat autistic people like dustbins. Ah, wonderful! Now just bribe Kate Hudson in and no autistic people. Now let's make the movie so offensive that people are going to cancel me. This sounds fun. Oh boy. I'm so gonna have a field day when Twitter reacts to this. The year was 2020. The coronavirus hit, theatres were shut, streaming rises, and of course, no one can escape the one thing we all knew happened in 2020. It was the bad movies. Yep. even a year where movies pretty much were delayed for this year or next year, so happened to be left behind. Just so happened to leave behind some rather pretty bad movies. Like some of them were even released exactly over a year ago, like before the Dark Ages hit, being March the 11th, 2020. But in the meanwhile, since bad movies, what do I say, are as lethal as the coronavirus. Okay, maybe I'll not say that, but they leave a bit of more of a mental scar. So let's get ready, because this is about to get very, very lethal. And here it is, my thoughts on the Razzie nominations. So, for Worst Picture, there's 365 Days, the third worst thing to come from Poland since LGBT free zones and abortion bans. And Absolute Proof, another Republican in denial and tries to cancel democracy. Doolittle, or also known as Robert Downey Jr.'s career kamikaze. And Fantasy Island, let's face it, I don't know anyone that watched it, so moving on. And Music, a film so notoriously poorly received that I just had to make a sketch out of it. I can see two films winning this, just on different factors. Like Doolittle, because more people seen it before the cinemas shut down, and Music just due to how lethally bad, like unholy matrimony bad these reviews were. Like worse than Cats, but that's my opinion. Although this award season did lack in Artemis Fowl and Last Days of American Crime, but it did make up for it for some pretty big casts that filled the shoes of crap. For Worst Actor, there's Robert Downey Jr. in his big career kamikaze Doolittle, Mike Lindell for the My Pillow Guy in Absolute Truth that Sleepy Biden stole the election, and Michelle Maron for 365 Days, Adam Sandler for Herbal Halloween, and David Spade for The Wrong Missy. It's definitely going to go to Robert Downey Jr. No fuss. And for Worst Actress, there's Anne Hathaway for The Last Thing He Wanted and Roald Dahl's The Witches, Katie Holmes for Baum, The Boys 2 and The Secret Dare to Dream, Kate Hudson Music, and Lauren Lebkus for The Wrong Missy, and Anna Maria Shekalale for 365 Days. I think I kind of deep down want to give it to... I think it's not a deep down feeling, I actually want to give it down to Kate Hudson for Music, nominated for a Golden Globe. Then she wins a Razzie. Like, I think that's going to be such a, what do you say, a bit of a power move, not just for Hollywood and people trying to cancel Sia. It'll be such a massive power move. Just try to think of it in your head. For Worst Supporting Actress, there's Glenn Close for Hillbilly Egley, Lucy Hale for Fantasy Island, Maggie G for Fantasy Island, Kristen Wiig for Wonder Woman 1984, and Maddie Ziegler for Music Brings the People Together. I think I kind of understand why Kristen Wiig got nominated for a Razzie, mainly because it got such divisive reviews, even though my criticism is really subjective at this point now, because let's face it, not a lot of people liked it, but I liked it at the end of the day, so like me for unsubscribe if you want, but it's my opinion. But I think at the moving away from Wonder Woman, it's going to go to Maddie Ziegler for Music. And Sia, we'll just say, really in the phase of I want to destroy a career. And finally, there's Worst Supporting Actor. There's Chevy Chase for the very excellent Mr. Dundee, Rudy Giuliani for Borat's subsequent movie film, Sacha Baron Cohen for The Tax Collector, Arnold Schwarzenegger for Iron Mask, and Bruce Willis for Breach, Hard Kill, and Survive the Night. Chevy Chase, I remember, was one of the biggest names in the 80s comedy. Like, he hosted SNL, he hosted the Oscars, he was in a lot of comedy movies. Now he's kind of in the background, and allegedly not really much of a likable person to be around. Rudy Giuliani, after sweating, catching COVID, booking a conference in a garden centre, he chose to masturbate in front of a journalist in the movie. And Sacha Baron Cohen, again, after being dropped from an upcoming movie and being replaced, I think it was by Harry Styles in Don't Worry Darling, and having domestic abuse allegations thrown at him. I think this was the year Shia LaBeouf's career basically took too much hit and basically just perished. Do it or just cancel me! There's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Iron Mask, haven't seen that, and Bruce Willis in Breach, Hard Kill and Survive the Night. All three movies that sound like they could be in a really cheap aisle at Tesco's. I think it's going to go to be honest, it's Rudy Giuliani and Borat subsequent movie film, because I want to see him in the acceptance speech, like him and his garden centre, in front of a garden centre. For worst screen gumbo, or worst screen couple, there's Maria Bakalova and Rudy Giuliani in Borat's subsequent movie film. Robert Downey Jr. and his utterly unconvincing Welsh accent. Harrison Ford and that totally fake looking CGI dog from Call of the Wild. And Lauren Libkus and David Spade for The Wrong Missy. Adam Sandler and the grating Simpson voice from Herbie Halloween. Again, I see it going two ways, knowing how really political the Razzies can get, like awarding awards for politicians, like awarding it for Donald Trump, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Melania Trump. I think it's going to be it's a both way one. It's either Maria Bakalova and Rudy Giuliani for Borat 2, or Robert Downey Jr. and his utterly unconvincing Welsh accent from Doolittle. And for worst director, Charles Brand for the three Barbie and Kendall movies, Barbara Bareilles and Thomas Mendes for 365 Days, Stephen Gannon for Doolittle, Ron Howard for Hillbilly Eggly, and Sia for music. Sia for music is going to be a definite winner because she was dissing autistic people on Twitter, having public feuds with autistic people on Twitter, and try to be way too confident in the film. Like, wait till the movie comes out. Then when the movie came out and people literally cannibalized it, she panicked, of course, and said, "Oh, I need to add a disclaimer. I need to add a short film. I need to edit out some scenes." Like, she panicked when that movie just came out. Like, she was like having a full-blown public meltdown. I remember some directors, I think most notably like Josh Trank for Fantastic and Alex Proyas for Gods of Egypt, where they both had very public meltdowns given how badly reviewed their films were. But I think both directors will probably melt like the Wicked Witch if they saw numbers like low as Sia's music. I think worst director, Sia for music. And worst screenplay, 365 Days, all three Barbie and Kindle movies, Doolittle, Fantasy Island, and Hillbilly Eggly. I think, to be totally honest, it's going to be another Doolittle. Given how I've been watching like videos by Nostalgia Critic and everything wrong with Doolittle, I think the more grating Robert Downey Jr.'s Welsh accent, which sounds more like a drunken pirate, gets, the more irritating it is, and Michael Sheen being Michael Sheen. And finally, worst remake, ripoff, and sequel, because let's be honest, originality is dead in Hollywood now. There's 365 Days, Polish ripoff and remake of 50 Shades of Grey, Doolittle being a remake, Fantasy Island being a reimagining of the TV show Fantasy Island, and Hubby Halloween for a ripoff and remake of Ernest Scared Stupid, and Wonder Woman 84 for a sequel. Remake is Doolittle, the worst remake ripoff sequel. Like, I think it's going to be a domination between Doolittle and Sia Music, even though it could have done with two other poorly received movies that came out this year, being The Last Days of American Crime and Artemis Fowl, which people just ripped apart when it came out. But all in all, this is just the Razzies, and at least it's not as big, let's say, the Grammy snubbing the weekend and after hours, but let's be honest, it's not something you want to put on your CV. Well, at the end of the day, this is the Larger Wells. Your views on this year's Razzies, comment below, subscribe, like this video, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and this is Larger Wells, and bye!